My love for jollof rice is on another level because the rice always turns out amazing. So in this recipe, I'm going to be showing you how to make beef jollof, and it's going to turn out so good, very delicious with a nice beefy flavor, and the kick of spiciness is going to be so good. You're going to need very few ingredients for this beef jollof recipe. I have some capsicum, tomatoes, onion, garlic and ginger together with some chilies. Also, you're going to need some tomato paste, beef stock cube and 2 beef seasoning cubes, good quality rice. This is long grain basmati rice, your cooking oil and your fresh meat. This is half a kg, and as you can see, the meat is looking very tender because you'll see lots of marbling. Yes, that is perfect. So I'm going to start off by boiling my meat. So I'm going to keep my rice aside to create some space together with my fresh veggies. Then I'm going to chop my meat into bite-sized pieces. So I'm going to cut against the grain of the beef, and this is going to make the meat very tender while we boil. My beef is a little bit fatty, which I don't mind, and also we have some bones which are going to add in lots of flavor. When done chopping up your beef, you're going to place a pot over medium flame. Transfer in your meat. Add in a cup of water. Stir the beef. Add in half a teaspoon of salt. Then you're going to cover and boil the beef until tender. Meanwhile, you're going to wash your rice several times until the water is clear. That is to get rid of the excess starch. And when done washing, you're going to soak your rice for around 10 minutes while the beef is cooking. When the water comes to a boil, I'm going to scoop out the foam that is on top. And once done, I'm going to let the beef continue boiling. After a couple of minutes, this is how my meat is looking, and it's nice and tender. So I'm going to add in a third cup of cooking oil. Reduce the flames a little bit, then you're going to sear your beef for around a minute until it has very nice color, and this is going to add in flavor to the jollof rice. As my meat is searing, I'm going to blend up my tomatoes, red capsicum and the green chilies. I don't have the scotch bonnet, so I opted to use the red chilies, not green, red. So I'm going to cut the bell pepper in half, remove the seeds, transfer into my blender. Then I'm going to roughly cut up my tomatoes. And for some spice, we are going to be adding our red chilies. So I'm going to be adding in 3. Then I'm going to cover my blender and blend until smooth. Once we have a very nice smooth puree, I'm going to get back to my pot. Wow, the puree smells incredible. You have that kick of spiciness from the chilies. This is how my beef is looking. So at this point, I'm going to transfer to a plate. You're going to drain the oil, remove the meat and transfer to a bowl. Then I'm going to quickly chop up my onion. I've reduced the flames to low as I chop up my onion. So after a rough chop, I'm going to transfer to my pot. You need to build some flavor by sauteing your onions for around 1 minute until they have a very nice color. As the onions are cooking, I'm going to roughly chop up my garlic and ginger. So I'll start off by smashing my garlic, and this is going to make it very easy for me to mince the garlic together with the ginger. Watch out for the knife. Check on your onions as they're cooking. I'm going to cook for another 30 seconds as I finish up mincing my garlic and ginger. When the garlic and ginger is ready, you're going to transfer to your pot and saute for around 30 seconds until the garlic is very flavorful. And this is going to add in tons of flavor to the jollof. This is how my tomato puree is looking. So I'm going to transfer to my pot. Reduce the flames a little bit. Then I'm going to let the tomatoes cook for around 1 to 2 minutes until they're fully cooked down. While the tomatoes are cooking, I'm going to add in 1 heaped tablespoon of tomato paste. Add in my seasoning, that is 1 beef stock cube and 2 beef seasoning cubes. Sorry. You can add in a splash of water to your blender and remove all the tomato puree. Transfer to your pot, stir in, and let everything cook. This is how your tomatoes should be looking like. As you can see, the sauce is fully reduced and it's very thick. You're going to add in your soaked rice. Stir it up. Then you're going to toast your rice for around a minute, and this is going to add in a very nice smoky flavor to the rice. And because we have soaked our rice, it's very delicate, so don't stir in too much because it's going to break apart. I'm cooking 1.5 cups of rice, so I'm going to add in 3 cups of water. You can also add in some beef broth. I'm using the same cup that I used to measure out my rice. Stir in the water. Then I'm going to be adding back my beef. Check the seasoning. If it's not perfect, I'm going to be adding in a little bit more salt. Remember, we added in a stock cube and 2 beef seasoning cubes, which contain a little bit of salt. So yeah, it's just a matter of checking and adjusting the seasoning. While the rice is cooking, you're going to reduce the flames to medium because you don't want the rice to burn on the bottom. Once the water is fully evaporated, you're going to reduce the flames to low. Cover with a kitchen towel. Then you're going to steam your rice for 5 minutes. This is how my jollof is looking, and it's perfectly cooked. It's very saucy because yes, that's how jollof is supposed to be. So I'm going to fluff up using a fork, put out the flames, and serve. This beef jollof rice is totally worth trying because the rice is perfectly cooked. The jollof itself is filled with a very nice tomato and beef flavor, which makes the rice so delicious. And the beef is tender. I've served up with some avocado because yeah, I absolutely adore avocados and some lime just to add in some color together with coriander. This is a dish that you can make for your family as a main dish. Also, it's a perfect side dish, especially if you're not cooking with the beef, and it's going to be so good. Also, don't forget that you can meal prep and enjoy the beef jollof along the week.